Changelings, welcome back. It's Tuesday, which means it's Danger Recall. Woo! We're having a bit of a party, not really a party, but you know, as much as of a party you can have when you're recording remotely. You know, because it's like a party for us every day, isn't it, team? I tell you what, I've got some guests with me today. I've got loads of guests today, almost a full house. We have with us Mr. Dan Thompson.
Remember when Zoom parties were a thing, Colin? About a year ago, remember that seemed like the most exciting idea in the world, and now it's torture.
Do you remember when we were doing like 3 a week, and then it gradually got to like one every? Please don't do one ever again. We've got with us Scott as well. How you doing, Scott?
All right. I was there since the ancient days of Clubhouse and House Party. I know the ancient texts.
Yeah, we've got to get on Clubhouse, really. Me and Ross have been talking about that.
Oh, it was a joke. It was a joke, guys. Don't do that.
Oh, right. Well, me and Ross haven't been talking about it then. I mean, we mentioned it. We didn't really talk about it. Speaking of Ross is here. How you doing, Ross?
I'm good. Do you remember when House Party was a thing during the first lockdown? It was like everyone get on House Party. It was like, and then that lasted about, the first lockdown, and then everyone was like, nah.
Everyone promptly went like, oh no, there's people who I don't know who are calling me and messaging me. I'm like, have you just opened yourself up to an app that you don't really understand? Yes. Well, I'm never getting it, thank you.
Inviting me to rooms where nobody knows my name, you know?
Yeah.
Weird.
It's like the anti-cheers.
Oh, another voice there. We've got James Lockhart. How you doing, James?
Yes, I'm all right. Do you remember when House Party was the thing?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I tell you what, we should have prepped notes really before this, but yeah.
Maybe we should link up this call so everyone can hear each other. Like,
well, let's put it on House Party. Let's just do that.
Yeah. Do you remember back in the late 80s and early 90s when House Party was a thing? You know, those 3 hip-hop themed films with Kid and Play?
I've heard of them. I've never seen them.
Yeah.
No, you haven't, Ross.
Huh?
No, you haven't, Ross. You're just trying to look cool in front of Colin.
No, I definitely have heard of House Party 2, House Party 3, House Party 1.
Name one actor.
I thought you were going to be, you'd heard of House Party 2 and 3, but not 1.
One actor in it.
Noel Edmonds, right?
Mr. Blobby in the hole.
Noel Edmonds is in House Party.
By the way, James.
So hip hop.
Yes.
Shriek. Or Shriek. It's reverse.
Right,
reverse cheers.
Are you okay?
Can you smell burnt toast?
It's reverse cheers. It's cheers backwards.
Oh, right. Well, not the anti-cheers, though. The anti-cheers would be, I don't know, what
Fuck
would it
off. When nobody knows your name.
Exactly, as we were saying.
That was in my mind, just sort of like, when no one knows.
As soon as you come in, they boo you. Boo! Get out!
Don't like your type. Boo!
We're just talking about the tube then. It's just the tube.
Yeah, it's just the tube. It's just the pub on the tube.
That's probably going to be a thing one day, isn't it? I think you can have, like, before lockdown, obviously, that you could have a dinner on the tube. Like, there was a carriage where you could get on the Victoria line or something, which is disgusting, by the way, if you've never been to London.
There was because they banned drinking is banned on the tube now. I assume I've not been on a tube in over a year. But, it was banned, and on the eve before the alcohol ban came in, there was like an all-day and all-night Circle Line rave where people just opened a bar, people just had a party on the Circle Line and just did laps on it until eventually the police shut down the Circle Line.
Yeah. I'm glad I didn't go to that party.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot more people, it's probably like the Sex Pistols gig as well, like where only 17 people turned up to their first gig or something, and like hundreds and hundreds of people claim to have been at that, like thousands of people claim to have been at that Sex Pistols gig. And I think it's probably the same with that Circle Line party. A lot of people are like, I was on that. Yeah, I was on there all day.
Yeah. One of many ways that the Circle Line is like the Sex Pistols.
Yeah, I've often thought that. And it's one of those things that, like, wherever you're listening from, mass transit systems tend to be pretty similar. So I'm sure they've got a good idea that it's not the most illustrious place to have a drink at a party. You know what I mean? It's a skanky train going underground. There we go.
Yeah. Unless you're listening in New Zealand. They've got trains, don't get me wrong, but no one catches the train in New Zealand. Maybe they do now, but when I went to New Zealand, I was in Auckland in the main station, and it was huge. It was a bit like St Pancras in the sort of sense and grandeur, not as many shops and things like that, but quite silver and quite like, that sort of look. But
I mean, the Hobbit would have been shit with mass transit, wouldn't it?
yeah. Let's go to.
Couldn't we just get the train to Mordor, Mr. Frodo?
Well, actually, it stops in about 3 stops, and we can't get there. I'm sorry. It was great though. The customer service there was brilliant because we were basically the only two. Me and my ex-girlfriend were basically the only 2 people in the station. So every train guard was coming up to us going, "Hey, bro, do you know where you're going? No, you're going." And we were like, "Yeah." And he's like, and then they told us as well, and they were like, "Oh, have a good day." And then they gave us a hug and walked off. It was really nice.
New Zealand people. And they gave us a $5, some free food. They invited us around for tea.
Called your mum, make sure you're talking to them, that sort of thing.
There's also a bit of a tragic undertone to that because they're probably in there for hours and hours just waiting for somebody to come along so they could do their job. Just like, oh, come on. Oh, there's one. Yeah. Don't scare them off. Take it in turns. Give them 10 minutes each.
Be cool. Yeah, it was great. So big up New Zealand transport system. It's probably a lot more used than it was then. So yeah. Anyway, we're talking about the Danger Club thing, aren't we? Like the podcast.
Danger. What was it called? Oh, I can't think of it now. Oh.
The Danger Scrub.
Danger Nuts.
Danger Nuts episode 34, Family Business, with music from Kevin MacLeod, Sword Coast Soundscapes, Bit Orchestra, Chan Walrus and Ross Bludgeon.
Ross Bugden, thank you very much for our theme.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I feel we need to say that now every time we misname him on this show.
It's such a good name though, isn't it? Ross Bludgeon. It's great. I know
Ross Bludgeon. Yeah, I mean that's someone you wouldn't mess with.
Yeah. Hi, my name's Ross Bludgeon. Ross, do you feel like that would be, if you could give yourself a name, that would be it?
No, I'm happy with my second name, Harmston, where I have to constantly tell people it's not Harmiston, it's not Harrison, it's not Hamston. So I'm happy with that. Ross Harmston.
So if you ever want to troll Ross, just get on Twitter and just say all those things.
It's true.
It's not quite as much, Ross, but one time when I was a youngling, amongst many misnames that I got, I was at a judo competition and they called out Scott Bestwick. I'm like, someone didn't even try there. That's not even similar to the letters I have in my name.
Yeah. I mean, I've got your name wrong like 4 or 5 times, Scott.
Yeah.
So really
Funnily enough, you in character did as well in a couple of episodes' time that we were talking about on this show. Yeah.
It's very interesting. Yeah. I completely forget like what's going on.
I didn't forget.
Maybe I was that person chairing the judo competition.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I won that bout as well, you bastard.
Well done.
Thanks.
Bestwick. Lots of love. All right, so this is episode 34. This is a good episode. I like this episode. How did we feel?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
He's here.
So much fun.
He's finally here. The greatest NPC in the history of the Danger Club podcast.
Yeah. Well, you're definitely your favourite, isn't it? I think we're going to get to him. I think
he's up there. I think he's my favourite. I don't know. There's been a lot of good ones, but
you said that about a lot of NPCs so far, Dan. I can't help but feel your NPC fidelity is wavering a little bit here.
They're all my children. And you guys keep leaving cities. Well, the story keeps leaving cities, so we keep having to leave them behind. And you won't take Gumbo's boat places, so it's impossible to keep them in the narrative.
I'm sure we tried. I think, and then this is spoilers for episodes way in the future if you're not caught up, Dangerlings. I'm sure we tried to take that boat.
No, you worked incredibly hard not to. Like, there was a whole meeting and everyone's like, so we're definitely not taking a boat. You were keen to take a boat when you were 100 miles away from where his boat was. You were like, I think we should definitely get a boat. And having left him behind, yes, you abandoned him.
I don't know, Dan. I think maybe we need to sit down and have a chat because we all loved Gumbo.
There was a show where we retrospectively looked back at old episodes of the Danger Club podcast.
Because I think you, I don't know.
We're in the desert.
I think you really
got a boat in the desert. In fact, that conversation came up.
It was in Absalom. It was in Absalom. You were given the chance to take a boat from Absalom to Quantium. And you were very insistent that it was imperative you got teleported and you did not take the boat. And then when you got to Quantium, you were like, we should probably take a boat, even though you were going across land and Gumbo was 100 miles away.
All right, well, we'll deal with that in episode Danger Recall 100 and whatever it was. Ross, my main man, Ross.
Yes.
Have you got a summary for episode 34?
Yeah, it's called Family Business. From the City of Strangers Adventure Path. And basically, what happens in this one is we go off to see, as Dan said, so it's Fulton, Caragor, and Velda, and...
What was his name, Ross? What was his name? What was that character's name? I can't remember it.
I can't remember if it... I don't know where we are in this, so I don't know which character it was. I don't remember. Bubba, yes. And
nearly.
Yeah,
it was so close, so close.
Your character's best friend.
I'm so unaware of time in this podcast. I don't know where we are, who we are. We meet Dark Michael, who has a lot of issues, and we want some goods from him. And then we have a lovely conversation with him. And then meanwhile, Shania wants to have like a night in with Philippe and forces Travis to stay, basically. I think she like much. Basically puts her arm on his shoulder and like pushes him down and is like, no, you really fucking stay with us and play cards or something or whatever. Yeah. And that's pretty much it.
It's a great review. Yeah.
That's
there's a few other details, but hey, we'll get to them.
But exactly. I don't want to talk about the whole episode.
No, of course. That's what a summary's about, isn't it?
Yeah, the blow by blow Danger Recall summary I did, and you were like, thanks, James. You just literally the show in
yeah, I remember when you did that.
It's
I was excited.
It's definitely not because I didn't listen to it. It's definitely not. Of course not.
We did spring that on Ross right before the recording. It doesn't matter. Like a few other things happen, but hey, I love this bit in the beginning, and we haven't set this up. Maybe we should set this up. This might be quite a nice thing to add onto our website when we actually play around with it. I was just
going to say, just before we crack on, I loved all the Caremarga stuff. Like listening to the all the city and the action and the setting and things. Even from the moment we got there, I really enjoyed all of these episodes. Just a little note from myself.
Yeah, it was really good. Dan really painted the world very well, obviously with the help of the books and stuff. Dan...
It's a beautiful piece of lore and just so much stuff to play with and very well written in terms of hooks and hints. You know, a really good... a good source book writes in that kind of term. You know, it gives you little hints about stuff that might be going on and then lets you elaborate on it. And City of Strangers is really like... It's why I credited it in the episode titles, even though it's not an adventure. It's just a kind of a lore book, really. But just because it's just... There's so many little bits that it's just like, oh, there's these guys who look a bit like that. Right, do what you want with them. And you can just grow it from there. And so you end up with this really... lovely thing. But it's also a time when everyone's starting to come together. You guys are coming together more as a family. The characters are more set in who they are than they were at the start of the last adventure. You know, there's a lot of good stuff in these episodes.
Yeah, we have this idea at the beginning for a TPK helpline. What we could set up, and if like gamers have a TPK, they can phone us and sort of go, oh, it happened, and we can help them out with it. Who do you think would be the best person to do that, to like help people on that level?
Oh, that's a tricky one.
Fulton. Well, actually, he won't be able to get his cock out and like try and do that.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing, you know.
Was it designed to be in character? Because I'm not sure, you know, calling up a helpline being like, oh, my character's got TPK'd. Oh, okay, I'll speak to you in my character who's very much alive. You know, my words themselves. I think if it was personal, I think you, Colin.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. I think you'd be like, yeah, tell me about it. Yeah, oh man, that sounds awful.
That's awkward. That's backfired, isn't it?
Yeah,
oh yeah.
Can we pick me? I don't know. Like,
All right, Cole, you've got a blackened heart. So it wouldn't be you at all.
Thank you. That's a kind thing to say.
Yeah, well, it would have to be like a 24/7 thing. So people would just literally, it's just happened to be like, doing that outside the pub kind of.
Let's trial it right now. Hi, my name's Darren.
Hi, Darren.
I've
rubbish name.
Recently, my entire party were killed because, we had an argument about people who didn't like my name, and anyway, we didn't see a trap, and there was a golem, an ice golem, and our healer went down, and after that, we just one by one, I just don't know where to pick up from here.
Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. That must be really hard for you. I think just go back in there and call your DM a dick, and
it was
jokes.
It was just drink.
It was partially the DM's fault, but also partially ours.
Right. That's good for you to acknowledge that, to take some responsibility.
Don't take responsibility. It's all the DM's fault. Sorry, I'm just listening on the line. I'm Colin's supervisor, and I'm also listening to this call. But
hello,
never ever
hi.
admit fallacy in front of the DM. You're in the right. He or she or they is clearly in the wrong.
Sorry, I'm still in training.
Hi, Colin.
I'm
Long time,
Colin.
first time.
Hi. How you doing? Yeah.
I've got this player whose character died 2 years ago, and he still keeps bringing it up. Just all the time.
Are you the DM? Are you the DM?
I am the DM,
right,
and I did everything I could, but he just had this.
All right, Colin, remember that you have the power to cancel this call because this line isn't for DMs. They have their own helpline.
This sounds really nice, you guys, but it sounds like you guys are having your own chat now. So I
didn't realize you're still on the line. I'm sorry. Just go and have a drink, and
just get over it.
with alcoholism.
get over it, Darren. If that's even your real name.
Yeah, Darren, get over it. As for you, Dan, listen, mate.
Now, Colin, put down that mug.
Yeah.
I think we'd be great.
Yeah,
I think it'd be great.
I think having role played that makes me want to take my eyes out with rusty forks. Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Perfect. Then goal achieved.
So look.
Shania
and I could have gone upstairs. They're drinking whiskey now with Travis, which is crazy. Shania and
No, Travis hates her. That's Travis's entire thing in this thing. That's his entire character note here, is that Travis is no longer a comedy character from this point. Like, his entire motivation is that he's not playing any of Shania's games anymore. He has no time for it. He calls her a monster. His only thing is to protect Ica and to get Ica away. And now they're stuck in this thing where they're trapped in this city with Ica. There might be Drow outside who might be coming to kill her. And Shania is just trying to do everything to keep them all in the same room. They've basically had a fallout because Shania's taking Ica drinking, and she's driving the wedge between it.
Shania is visibly shaken by seeing the Drow downstairs, as you say, yeah. And then the rest of us, we go to Dark Michael's. There's loads of just shopping in this bit, but yeah, Dark Michael as an NPC. Dan, it is your favourite. Go on, tell us how much you love him and why.
He's got so few notes. I think that's why I really like him. This was meant to be our only shopping episode. I know we've done other ones since, and we've had whole things. We went to a bureau de change. I think we've had one in an off license, and we've done the whole gamut of weird shops. But this was kind of because we'd had the talk, and we were like, are we going to role play shopping episodes? Because they all kind of, and I think we talked in the episode a bit about how we have them.
Yeah, it's always the one where someone comes to visit and listen, isn't it? When we're doing our social game, they're like, "Oh, can I come and listen?" And you're like, "Yeah, come down 1 week," and they always come to the shopping episode.
I always want to play this. Yeah. So, we're shopping.
Yeah, we're just buying shit.
We're just looking through books and
this
spending
game's
money.
rubbish. I'm going back to Call of Duty. Oh no!
No, stick around.
Oh no!
They go to Call of Duty, and it's the shopping episode of Call of Duty.
Yeah, it's just an endless store. I mean, it pretty much is.
Yes,
yeah.
Microtransactions. But yeah, I was like, okay, let's make a shop. We'll hint at it in, we'll have Freya give you directions to a shop, because then I know you're going to go to the same shop, and I can write a little bit about it. We don't have to come up with stuff on the fly, because part of the thing of having a shop is that you kind of need to have a bit of an idea of what things cost. So I think we costed up everything in advance about what you guys were planning on buying, just so we could quite quickly be like, oh yeah, that cost that, because no one wants to listen to us looking up numbers in a book. But as for Dark Michael himself, his entire character note is, they go to Dark Michael's Quality Adventuring Goods. He has lots of good supplies and zombie servants. He's going through some stuff. That's
nice.
it. And I was
good thing to improvise around.
From there, we will just see where it goes, and he will just whatever. He's one of those characters. There's been a few characters like that across the story that I really like. That they just deep down they want to be part of the Danger Club, and they do it by doing what they think the Danger Club will like, which is being awful. And they just keep doing it. They're just desperate to be like. And I like that Fulton sees through those characters every time. And everyone always shuts Fulton down. Fulton's always just like, why are you trying so hard? And everyone's just like, shut up, Fulton. He's this really good judge of character.
Fulton on that, like we walk into Dark Michael's and there's a tray full of bread and Fulton just grabs pretty much the lot, apart from Caragor and M, they grab a piece. The Fulton kind of drinking, eating to excess, was that a character choice from early on?
I mean, it's just life echoing, art echoing life or whatever it is.
Right.
And that's just what I am. If I see a plate of bread, I've got to eat it, Freebies at the supermarket, people handing out chorizo on the street.
Freebies? Oh, right, freebies. Right. The way you said that, you were like, freebies.
Take one, please. Help.
Come down to your local store today for your freebie. It's just a bit of thread.
Usher would be really upset with this.
It's all the kind of impulsive nature of him, isn't it? Where he's just like, I see this and I shall do this without thinking.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't have any, what do you call it? When you oh god, what's the word where you have you don't have any restraint? Yeah, you don't have any self-control. So
Got a question, Ross. Personally, being a lover of bread as you are, would you be for or against elven bread in actual reality? Because obviously you'd enjoy the bit of bread, but then you'd just be full, so you wouldn't be able to eat more bread. Or would you just rather enjoy a little bit of bread and that stops you from eating more bread?
No, I think I wouldn't like elven bread in real life if because the whole thing of it is putting something in your mouth.
Now, listen, right?
The whole thing of what exactly?
You giggled. I was perfectly.
Yeah, I know. Let's not go there.
No, I mean,
it's a family show. It's a family show.
Putting something it's that thing of just having something in your mouth whilst you're watching something on the TV or
right,
a film.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
You talk about the process of eating, right?
Yeah. They're not the
So you combine television with a bit of eating. Yeah.
I get it. I want to be
eating
something, even though I'm not actually that hungry.
But that's usually down to boredom, and that which implies that every time we're in a fight or going through an adventure or plumbing into an ossuary or something like that, Ross is like, Fulton's like, God, I wish I could eat some bread right now. This is so dull.
Yeah.
Now, James, you're saying that this is out of the game, and we really should move on because we're 25 minutes into this episode already. But Ross loves bread. I think I love bread more. I have to say that.
That's fair enough. And to be honest, I think if we had a bread off, it would be a bread apocalypse because I love bread. Although I have found that I've been trying to eat a lot less sort of shop-bought stodgy bread.
Yeah.
And I found myself much less bloated than I was before.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But it's like being betrayed by an old friend. You're like, I thought you were just all good. And actually, no, a lot of shop-bought bread does make quite bloated.
Anyway, Caragor would also be against the elven bread because although bread at its best might have carbohydrates, some proteins, and some nutrients and B vitamins, ultimately it's not going to give you a full rounded meal constantly. So if you stay full on elven bread on a regular basis, you're going to end up malnutritioned and you're not going to get all of your food groups, unfortunately.
That's a good slice of...
Very true.
Good there. Good slice.
Do you think that elves are quite willowy and sort of they tend to be slow procreation because they're just massively vitamin deficient?
Who knows? We got to move on though, because we've done 25 minutes, as I say, and we've talked about bread, and we've got the TPK hotline.
Malnutrition. Let's do that.
We need to do 2 episodes on this, don't we? It's crazy.
Elven cookery programs.
So look, loads of things happen in the shop. Fulton gets the zombie, which is a brilliant move, by the way. Loved that, Ross, where you get the advertising zombie. M almost buys a ukulele, but backs out of the deal because it's 50 gold pieces. M's kind of music thing. He also calls Dark Michael Big Mike. Is that a bit of foreshadowing? Probably not, but it's a coincidence. let's be honest about it then. And I love the bit with Dark Michael about the X. M also buys the Hungermonger, so that's nice because we find out why later on, don't we? The ukulele doesn't buy. Shuffles is the name of the zombie, which is a nice little name for a zombie. Did you imagine him as being quite cute or
No, I see him as like a Walking Dead kind of zombie. Like half his face is like rotting off.
So like pretty disgusting.
Yeah, with a t-shirt on.
I kind of imagine that Dark Mike are trying to jolly them up a bit. But obviously, jollying up a decomposing corpse is never going to be a particularly easy task. So,
No.
Yeah.
And then we go back after we've talked to Dark Michael, we go back to see Shania. We find her and Iker just having a right jolly. They are leathered.
They're completely drunk. I think Travis is playing cards with Philippe.
That's right.
And Caragor kicks in the door, but the door's barred with a chair, so it just breaks the door. And the door falls apart.
Yeah. Do you remember doing this, Scott? Kicking in the door? Or have you kicked too many doors now?
So many doors. And so little hubris. No, there's plenty of hubris by now. I think Caragor's learned certain lessons now. I don't know, actually. Gauging a door before you kick it, that's a new skill. I'm not sure if I get that at level 5 or whatever we are. I've got to be more careful about doors, I think. It broke the chair. Did they bar the door with a chair then from the other side?
Yeah, so it was like the door wasn't... I think the door was locked, and then they'd done the thing where you like wedge a chair under the doorknob from the other side because Shania was so frightened that the drow were coming to get them. And so it's like Caragor broke the lock, but the chair on the other side was still holding the door in place. So as soon as they took the chair out, the door just fell out.
Just taking out all those frustrations about being in a highly urban place with plenty of lifts and probably vending machines.
Cuddly benches everywhere.
No, I think Caragor's quite up for a cuddly bench. He secretly doesn't mind those. Okay. Yeah,
we haven't seen some of those in a while. This is a nice. I like this moment that I gave Shania some trail rations, like when she was really pissed. I was like, "Come on, have some of these because this will help you out." This is literally what I do to drunk people. Like if they're too drunk, I'm like, "Come on, let's have some food." Like, yeah. I did it. I was on a stag do once, and there was a bunch of lads like going, "Oh yeah, let's go out and do more." And it was like 2 a.m, and I was like, "They're too pissed. This is too much." I was like, "Guys, let's go and have a burger," knowing full well that if they had a burger, they'd go, "Oh, let's go home and go to sleep." And it worked. It totally worked. I was like, yes. Last night at the stag do, when you've had like 3 days of drinking, you're not up for it anymore. But there's one person that's like, "Come on, let's do it," and like you're like, "Come on, let's just."
I was going to say where you want to stag do with Ross, but then I realised you said 2 a.m, and Ross would have KO'd by 1:30 max.
Yeah. Until he mentioned burger, at which point he'd have woken up and walked out the door after you. Like,
yeah, because burger's at least 70% bread.
Yeah, I'll just have the bun.
Unless they're an elven bread burger, and in this case, he's not interested.
Elven bread burger. I bet the filling to that elven bread burger would be like kale and hummus, wouldn't it? Elves.
Yeah, or just the thinnest slice of meat, because you don't need it.
So if someone's too drunk, order a pizza and give them some water. That's a good vibe to do. Carbs and H2O. So do that. And then, we sort of, Freya Axborn comes in the morning. No, sorry, not in the morning. What am I talking about?
She arrives amidst the carnage because...
She arrives amidst the carnage. Yeah, she doesn't arrive in the morning. What am I talking about? She arrives amidst the carnage, doesn't she? And she's like, "Oh, right, okay. Your new girlfriend's nice, by the way, Caragor." And
oh, yeah, she just tosses that one in to the wolves, doesn't she? She just throws that in.
To be fair, Shania very much fires the first shot. So Shania gets in her face as soon as she walks in the door. And then
spits on her hands.
That's why you hustle Shania to bed. That's why you give her the food.
Yeah. It's a real tour de force of Caragor being just procedurally gutted about his old mate meeting his new mate, and just how that goes just on a constant basis. I think Velda might be the only one who was nice to her, full stop.
Yeah. Shania spits on Freya's hand when she puts it out to shake her hand. She spits on Freya's hand.
That's why we're fell out for an entire episode or something, isn't it? Because the next episode we're angry at each other as well, aren't we? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But then M spits on his hand to shake Freya's hand, and she's all like, "Oh, you're a spitty lot, you lot."
Freya's never watched Dune.
Nah.
She's not up for that. It's not that behaviour. I mean, fair enough, I guess. It's a strange custom, if anything, to meet that people who do that.
Yeah. It's great. And then we end the episode with Velda eating his cards.
One of my favourite endings to an ep. I love that.
It's so good the way you did it, Dan. You were like, and then Velda eats his cards, and that was where we'll leave it to today.
James, I think.
James did it. James's gag. Yeah, Philippe ate his cards first time because he doesn't. He's just they're trying to play
James
cards,
did it,
but he's
he?
just a monkey. Like he doesn't understand how cards work. He's just mimicking, and then Velda does it as well.
Yeah,
lovely.
Did you, James? Did you, when you ate your cards at the end of the episode, did you kind of plan that, or was it just a nice?
Do you know what? I was quite pleased with that one because it was only the planning of trying to think about what was going on and like a funny gag, and it was a pretty spur of the moment thing. But I had it slightly in my head, but only from I think a very short time before. I was like,
it was such a great way to end the episode. We were just saying,
yeah.
It is. I've got notes for like the next episode, but there's a bit of bleed because Velda does truly excels as a character. When you put him in awkward situations, you get to exercise that. Whoop! It's an awkward situation. How would I behave? I'm going to take that and just fantasize it a little bit, and then here we are. Because you get so many awkward situations in this run. Indeed, anywhere there's like a lot of people around, and you get Caragor being boisterous, Fulton being an idiot, and Shania being spiky. Velda just gets to go. Which is it's always a joy.
So awkward. But it was great.
Yeah, it's good. Well done. That was the episode.
Splendid.
We're going to set up the TPK helpline. That's going to be a thing now. Dangerlings.
I think we need a bit more guys. Can we? Darren's, Darren needs help now. So that was trial 1. Like, can we run a few more trials before we get to launch, please?
Darren.
Okay, cool. TPK helpline. If anyone there has TPK and they need, a bit of help, do message us.
No, we've never experienced one.
No, we haven't.
We've never
but we can
experienced
still do
TPK.
it.
Or to be fair though, just on a serious note, character loss, it can be a very serious thing. So don't be afraid about feeling quite emotion or reaching out to your friends or groups, whatever.
Get a better build.
Yeah.
That was ominous. I mean, we could do a little talk about individual character death. I know James has experienced one before in a much previous campaign. Before he's actually experienced a couple. I think Dan killed one of his characters, then I killed one of his characters. He's actually suffered a bit.
And then Ross, you had one as well. You've spoke about it before, haven't you? You had to leave, didn't you?
Yeah. But he came back. He got resurrected. But yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I had to. I left because I was like, I don't want to know what's going to happen post my death. That was super method. I should have just stayed and had a pint. But yeah.
It's quite interesting, isn't it? We've all done that in games actually, where everyone, particularly on Zoom, on our social games since last year, there's been a lot more of like everyone's going to leave we set up like a separate room, and then the DM and then the player will have a chat off screen, so nobody else knows the information. It's quite interesting actually doing that, because then you kind of have that secret bit of information that's still a secret, and you don't share it with everyone. So the players don't need to act like they don't know it. They literally don't know it until it comes up, which is kind of cool.
That's it's a bit too method for me. I think I'm all about the fourth wall. I'm all about lightly stroking your hands down the side of the fourth wall. I'm up for that. You pretend at the table and you stay engaged for me, but that's just me.
I like a bit of both, Anyway, we've got to end this episode. So listen, thank you so much, Dangerlings. Come back next week. We've got some treats coming up, and we love you. Get on the Discords, get on the blooming Facebook chat, get up on the message boards everywhere. Get on everywhere. Just get everywhere. Get everywhere you want. We love you. I've been Colin Hubbard. Thank you to my guest, Scott Wilson Besgrove.
Slipping back into the blanket of night once more, I pull it over my head and I try to forget what I once saw with these mortal eyes.
Love it. And thank you to Dan Thompson.
Cheers, team. See you later.
J to the Is-Ames Lockhart.
Thanks, everyone. It's been...
And Ross Harmston.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Dangerlings. Bye.